Almost every Chinese speaker on Earth, that's roughly 1.4 billion people, uses the same handful of 4-character phrases. They're called chengyu, and most people, even the ones using them every day, assume they're just old-fashioned proverbs. Pretty figures of speech, that's the surface. What they actually are, every single one, is a compressed historical event. A war, a merchant scam, a 10-year revenge plot. I'm going to walk you through 8 of them. By the end, you'll never hear these phrases the same way again. And the last one I'll cover, number 8, is the reason a defeated king slept on firewood and licked an animal's gallbladder every single morning for a decade. We'll close that loop. Let's start. Number 1, Jiao San Mu Si. Literally, 3 in the morning, 4 in the evening. Today, if a Chinese speaker calls you Jiao San Mu Si, they're saying you're fickle, two-faced, can't make up your mind. Here's the original story. It's in the Zhuangzi, a Taoist text from the 4th century BC. A man kept a troop of monkeys. Famine hit, food got tight. He told the monkeys, "I'll give you 3 acorns in the morning, 4 at night." The monkeys went berserk. So he switched it. Fine, 4 in the morning, 3 at night. The monkeys cheered. Same total, 7 acorns. The monkeys never noticed. The original meaning wasn't fickle. It was the opposite, about being conned by a rearrangement that changes nothing. Over centuries, the meaning drifted. The monkeys won the language. Number 2, Shouju Daitu. Guard the tree stump, wait for the rabbit. From the Han Feizi. Han Fei was the philosopher who roasted everyone. A farmer's working his field. A rabbit, full speed, slams into a tree stump, snaps its neck. Free dinner. Farmer's thrilled. Next day, he doesn't plow. He sits by the stump, waits. Next day, same. The whole field goes to weeds. The whole village laughs at him. The phrase means waiting for a one-time miracle to happen twice. But Han Fei wasn't talking about farmers. He was attacking Confucian scholars who wanted to govern modern states using ancient methods that had worked exactly once. The original target was an entire school of philosophy. Now, it's about people who buy lottery tickets. Number 3, Zishang Maodun. The story behind this one is the most important on the list, and I'll tell you why in a second. A weapons dealer in the state of Chu is working a market. He holds up a shield. This shield, nothing in the world can pierce it. Then, he holds up a spear. This spear pierces anything in the world. A bystander asks the obvious question: what happens if you stab your shield with your spear? The merchant has no answer. Here's why this matters. The 2 characters Maodun, spear and shield, became the standard Chinese word for contradiction. Every time a Chinese speaker today talks about a logical contradiction, in math, in law, in an argument, they are literally invoking a random arms dealer from 250 BC, an entire concept named after one man's bad pitch. Number 4, Beigong Sheying. Bow shadow in the cup. A government official in the Jin dynasty, Liu An, hosts a friend for wine. The friend lifts his cup, looks down, sees a thin coiled snake floating in his drink. He doesn't want to be rude, he drinks it. He goes home and gets violently sick, for weeks. Convinced there's a snake inside him, Liu An visits him, sees his friend dying, goes back to his own house, spots the painted bow on the wall. The bow's reflection had fallen across the wine cup. There was never a snake. He brings his friend back, sits him in the same seat, shows him the bow. The illness vanishes that day. The phrase means a fear of nothing, but a fear strong enough to make you sick anyway. Number 5, Qí Wù Lùn. Point at a deer, call it a horse. This one isn't a fable, it actually happened, and it's the darkest story on the list. China's first emperor, Qin Shi Huang, has just died. Power falls to a court eunuch named Zhao Gao. The new young emperor, Qin Shi, is basically his puppet. Zhao Gao wants the throne for himself, but first he needs to know who will obey him and who won't. So he runs a test. He brings a deer into the throne room, presents it to the emperor, and calls it a horse. The emperor laughs. "Chancellor, that's a deer." So Zhao Gao turns to the assembled officials and asks them, one by one, "Deer or horse?" Some say horse. They're terrified of him. Some stay silent. And a brave few say what's true. It's a deer. Zhao Gao remembers every face that said deer. Over the following weeks, he has them quietly executed. After that, nobody in the Qing court contradicts him again. That's the phrase. Zhilu Weima isn't a simple lie. It's using raw power to make people deny what's in front of their own eyes and punishing the ones who won't. Number 6. Sai Weng Shima. The old man on the frontier lost his horse. This one is famous for the wrong reason. People translate it as blessing in disguise. That's not quite it. From the Huainanzi, around 139 BC. An old man's horse runs into enemy territory. Neighbors. Terrible. Old man. How do you know it's not a blessing? Horse comes back. Brings a wild stallion with it. Neighbors. Wonderful. Old man. How do you know it's not a curse? His son rides the stallion. Falls. Shatters his leg. Old man. How do you know it's not a blessing? A year later, war breaks out. Every able-bodied young man on the frontier is drafted. 9 out of 10 die. The son, with his broken leg, stays home, alive. The phrase isn't silver lining. It's stop labeling things good or bad. You don't have the information yet. Number 7. Wanbi Gui Zhao, returning the jade intact to Zhao. This is a heist. Warring States period. The state of Zhao owns a legendary jade disc. He should be. The much bigger state of Qin offers 15 cities in exchange. Everyone knows it's a setup. Send the jade, lose the jade. Refuse, get invaded. Zhao sends a diplomat, Lin Xiangru. He walks into the Qin court alone, carrying the jade. Watches the Qin king passing it around to his courtiers, never mentioning the cities. So Lin Xiangru says, "There's a tiny flaw on it, let me point it out." Gets the jade back in his hand. Then threatens to smash it and his own skull against a pillar. The Qin king freezes, promises a 5-day fasting ceremony. While he stalls, Lin Xiangru's servant changes into peasant clothes, slips out at night, and smuggles the jade home. By the time the Qin king realizes, the jade is already back inside Zhao. The phrase now means returning a valuable thing perfectly intact. It started as an act of nerve. Number 8. The one I promised.卧薪尝胆, sleeping on firewood, tasting gall. 5th century BC. 2 kingdoms, Wu and Yue, at war for generations. King Goujian of Yue is crushed in battle by King Fuchai of Wu. He's offered 2 options: die now or live as Fuchai's personal slave. Goujian picks slavery. For 3 years he cleans tombs, feeds Fuchai's horses, holds his stirrups, plays the broken man perfectly. Fuchai buys it, lets him go. Goujian was not broken. Back in Yue, he stops sleeping in a bed, sleeps on a pile of raw firewood, hangs an animal's gall bladder from his ceiling. Bile is the bitterest substance the human tongue can register, and licks it every morning and every night. For 10 years. The humiliation, fresh every day. While doing this, he quietly rebuilds his army. Trains, taxes, waits. When he finally invades, Wu collapses. Fuchai is forced to take his own life. That's where the phrase comes from. Wuxin Chang Dan means enduring deliberate daily suffering so you never lose sight of what you owe. The English versions, grit, perseverance, don't carry the bile. 8 phrases, 8 buried events. Every Chinese speaker on Earth carries this archive in their head, most of them without remembering the source code. If this was worth your time, the algorithm pays attention when you tell it so. See you in the next one.